This video is brought to you by the Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team. Go to patreon.com/discgolfnerd. My people, hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some different disc golf storage options. We have some disc golf specific boxes, we have the Upper Park trainer bag, some plastic bins that you can use for discs I'm going to show off. I'm also going to tack in some footage of my old PVC milk crate designs that I've used over the years, and we're also going to show you the big dog in the corner here that I'm really liking, which is the Hyzer Disc Rack. So lots of different options depending on your price ranges and your budget and all that kind of stuff. And I just want to talk about pros and cons of each kind of different system and how you guys might want to go about storing your plastic. It can be really simple. Honestly, if you just have a shelf that's open, you could just stack your discs one on top of each other, just in a stack straight up. If you see any footage of like the warehouses for a lot of the different manufacturers, they're either just standing straight up, stacked straight up on top of each other, or they have a rack similar to this Hyzer Disc Rack on the side here, where all the discs lay on their side on that kind of two-rail system. My PVC and milk crate storage designs were very similar to that kind of railed system where they ride on that angle on the side like that. So put at the end of this video, in the end screen, I'll put the link to the actual milk crate build if you want to see that. But basically it was just a milk crate that I put two strips of thin PVC pipe rails into the bottom, and I zip tied them from underneath, put the discs in there. You can stack them, they're unbreakable. Works out really well, and definitely was a go-to for me for a few years for sure. And it was really just recently when I got this Hyzer Disc Rack that you see on the right of the screen that I actually got rid of that system. I moved those down to my garage, and I have some other gear being stored in those. So real quick, before we start taking a closer look at some of these options, I want to thank my sponsor, Infinite Discs. Please check out the link in the description and use that link when you do your shopping in Infinite Discs. It will help support the channel, as some of those profits will be shared with the Disc Golf Nerd channel and help us put together the content for you guys, so I really appreciate that. Also, for the next couple months, you can use the code DiscGolfNerd at checkout, get 5% off your order. Also want to give a quick big shout out to my Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team. You guys are amazing. Let's get into it. Let's start it off with the newest member of the collection here in this Upper Park trainer bag. This just showed up in the mail today, and it's something that I got for review from Upper Park. But what I like about this thing is that it's basically a disc storage bag. You're not really designed for using it during rounds per se. Obviously you could if you want to just throw it over your shoulder. You can hold a ton of plastic in this thing. I mean, it's got a huge amount of discs in it right here. I didn't do a full count, but it's a lot. But it's designed for more for field work. Throw in the trunk of your car, bring it out to the field. You got all your different throwers with you if you want to have backups. I have my whole bag plus a bunch of extra discs in this right now, so you can have your entire bag plus some backups to go work on some shots. But it's also just a great way to store your discs as well, because you can zip this thing closed, and yeah, you're pretty much good to go from there. It's going to hold them mostly vertically like that, and it shouldn't be any real issue. So I like that, and definitely seems like a pretty good fit for that. It's got enough of a side pocket here. You can put some discs in here or some other gear. So if you have maybe some minis or something you want to store, that would be a good spot for those. And if you didn't have a ton of extra discs, this could be a really great option too, because if you need to move it or whatever, you want to take them with you somewhere, all you got to do is just pick up the bag and throw it over your shoulder and good to go. So that is the Upper Park trainer bag. Let's do a quick count. 1, 2. I got like 35 or 36 discs in here. I could probably put 40 in there because there's some room on this side there. And if it was drivers, yeah, you could put a ton of plastic in here. So that is the Upper Park trainer bag. Definitely seems like a pretty solid built bag and a decent option for just storage in general. Obviously quite portable by design. Let's bring it in and we'll take a look at these other options. Okay, before we take a closer look at these smaller ones here, I wanted to also let you guys know that a lot of people just make racks out of PVC in general, just a standalone rack made out of PVC pipe and then different corners and connector pieces. I'll put just a quick still image of that kind of a setup on the screen so you guys can see it. There's all kinds of different places that you can go and find tutorials on how to build those and measurements and all that kind of stuff, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It's like we talked about earlier, where you're setting up two rails that the discs will ride on, kind of like the Hyzer Disc Rack. So this is from box4discs.com. They sent me a case of these to kind of evaluate and check out, and I've been digging them. I gave one to the boys, Andy and James, and Anthony got one, and I have a few different ones. I actually gave a couple to my friend who was moving too, because they're just really nice, sturdy moving boxes. So double wall corrugated cardboard on these. They're very lightweight. They seem quite sturdy as well. This one's closed up. You can get them custom printed as well, and it's obviously just white cardboard, so you can write on them really easily to mark them if you want to mark what's in each box. I like that they block out the light completely. That's nice for collector plastic for sure. In my opinion, just I've seen some discs in the sunlight, they'll kind of get discolored and stuff like that, so that's not fun. Here is one that is actually fully loaded up with some plastic, and you can kind of just put the lid on upside down on the bottom and just leave it as an open top box. Really simple, and this has quite a bit of plastic in it as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 22, 23, 24. 24 discs here, and there's some other stuff taking up some space. These come with these dividers that you kind of are part of the boxes. They come flattened, and you pull off the excess tabs, and this is one of the excess tabs that you use to make like a divider if you want to. I've also noticed that these disc mailer boxes fit in here. Like I have a DD one here as well. It fits perfectly in this box. So if you wanted to store collectors in their boxes, in shipping boxes like that, in here, or if you have some of those mailers laying around that you reuse and you want to keep them somewhere, you can just put them all in one of these boxes to store those as well, which I like. So it gives you a little extra protection. Obvious downsides to this is that it's cardboard, so if it gets wet, it's going to be a problem. So just something to think about. You know, if you have it on a metal rack up off the floor, even if there was like a flood or something crazy happened, you should still be all right. But obviously if they're on the floor in your garage or something and they get wet, it's going to be an issue. So something to think about. But all in all, these are a sturdy, pretty solid option for sure. They stack really nice once you get them with the lids on and everything, and you can hold a ton of plastic. And if you get a case of those, you'll be pretty set for sure. And they're really easy to pick up and carry around, to move, and throw them in your car or whatever. Take them out with you. No big deal there. This is, I think this is a Sterilite. I don't know if there's any markings left on this thing or not. I will put at the end of this video, in the end screen, a dedicated video I did on this box with a little bit more of the details on the model and stuff. But you can see here, this is just a plastic tub that fits discs quite perfectly. I have a couple of pieces of pipe insulation foam on the bottom there, and this is my Ricky Sake Bomb Compass collection. Let's give you a quick peek at some plastic while we're doing it. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Got the deco die and then the hot stamp combo. That was pretty sweet when that hit the market. I got a couple of DGN Sparkle compasses I forgot that I had in here as well. And let's see, any other ones? I got one. Where is that one? This one right here was actually in Ricky's bag towards the end of his time with Latitude. I bought it direct from Ricky. So any of the wear on that one is straight from Rick and has actual tournament throws, which is pretty cool, I think. These are pretty solid. They're about $5 a piece. I've had good success with them. I keep all my collectors in plastic anyway. In this bin, these stack together quite nice. They're probably not all that durable if you were to kind of bang them around, or if you had them in your trunk or your car or something. They might crack over time. But just to have them stacked up on a shelf somewhere, they're pretty great for $5 and definitely get the job done. So I keep my collectors in these because they're sealed and they're plastic, so even if it gets water around them, they won't get into the discs, and I like it quite a bit. That being said, as we talked about earlier, since this is translucent like this, it will potentially sun bleach some of these discs if it's in direct sunlight, so definitely keep an eye out for that. I have a destroyer that's down in this one underneath here that has that issue for sure. Okay, and finally, we got the big dog here. This is the Hyzer Disc Rack. Shout out to Hyzer Disc Racks for sending me this thing to test and check out, and I love it. It has been a really excellent addition to my studio and my setup back here. I can put bags on top of it, which is really nice. This one's actually hanging on this other shelf, but it can just sit on top of this thing. Extremely sturdy, full steel construction. As you get in here, you can see the rails where the discs rest. Right, so those just pop right in. The discs stay in a great spot. Obviously you can see it holds a ton of plastic, and this thing's doing the bulk of my heavy lifting as a disc storage setup at this point. I like that you can see the ends of the disc, so you can kind of put some display discs on the ends of each of these. It's also magnetic, so I made a little magnet out of this course map from Stub Stewart, my favorite course. I got a pretty dyed Fury there, kind of displaying on the top. These are all my driver backups. That's all my putter backups, all my driver backups. And then this is my Gobi collection and a couple fuses and justices there. And then the rest of these are all like X-Review discs or other throwers that I have laying around. So pretty much doing the bulk of the work at this point. Storing plastic is this Hyzer Disc Rack. I also like, it has these little tabs on the front here. Comes with a couple of these little clips, and they're sturdy enough you could actually hang a bag on that if you wanted to. You can hang towels or other things. I like to hang a hat on there that I use for filming. Really nice setup. This thing put together pretty simple. Took a little bit of effort, but once it's all set up, it is sturdy, solid as a rock, real heavy, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it's a great product. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely going to be by far the most expensive, but I kind of see this thing as like a piece of furniture for your home. You know, like this thing will last you probably indefinitely, and yeah, it holds a ton of plastic. So this is pretty much plenty of storage for the average player. You can put your bag on top. You can hang extra bags off of it depending on how you have it set up. I have it kind of jutting off the wall here, but if I had it flush on the wall, other stuff on top of it, hang everything you want off the sides, and definitely gets you a lot of plastic storage. That's it for this video. I wanted to just show off these different options and let you guys know what you might want to look into if you're looking for some options to store your plastic. Let me know if you have any questions about any of these. I'll do my best to answer them in the comments down below. Thank you to Hyzer Disc Racks. Thank you to upperparkdiscgolf.com. Thank you to Box 4 Discs. I appreciate everybody's support. The Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team. Check out my infinite link in the description below. And I will talk to you all very soon. Cheers.